Blackburn Rovers are one of only 7 teams to win the Premier League in its 30-year existence and currently find themselves languishing in the Championship and struggling to get out, and last season didn't have the greatest of seasons, just about escaping relegation. So today I want to return them to Premier League winners but also make them Champions League winners using the Moneyball method. So the team here at Blackburn is quite good, and there is one notable standout player in Sammy Smodics. He is by far the best player, and he is going to be the way we make money at the end of season 1, because I am predicting we are not going to get promoted from the Championship. To be honest, I don't really want to, as I am doing this in the 23-24 season, and then for the 24-25 it can be how they are in real life. We just have to start the 23-24 for the purposes of getting the Moneyball stats, but hopefully he can be fantastic for us. We have still got Joe Rankin Castillo, who's a fantastic midfielder, sitting next to him as a box-to-box, can play literally everywhere on the pitch but striker and in goal. I love a player like that. Consistency is going to be so important for him as well. The back line's very good. It's not Adam Wharton, but it is Scott, who might be his brother. I don't actually know. They look quite similar, so probably is. A decent back four with pairs in goal. Hedges, Moran out on loan on the left wing, and Tari Stolen up front. Again, though, here at Blackburn, there is quite a lot of youth. In looking at sort of the age profiles, there's a lot of high prospect players here. 16-year-olds like Tom Akerson, 18 and Jake Batty. We've got Nicholas Michaski here, who's a 5-star wonder kid goalkeeper. James Edmondson, who we might see all become very good players. But I fully believe this rebuild in terms of Moneyball is going to be the hardest one we can do, other than the likes of Wales and Gibraltar, etc. Because of the ESC and the work permit, the way it works in England, signing players from sort of lower nations in the Czech Republic or from Russia, etc. is going to be very difficult because they have to play loads of games for the national team. So signing players using Moneyball is going to be very, very difficult, which just makes this even harder. I'm not going to make it easier for myself and not do the Moneyball approach. I want this to be a full-on Moneyball. The way we are scouting players is using the Moneyball method. As you can see, the reason we start in 23-24 is because there is no stats currently loaded up, just one player. And there's a video on the channel exactly how to do Moneyball, so feel free to go and watch that one. I'll try and remember to link up there, but no, I probably won't. Just search Moneyball on the channel and you will find it. But let's fly into this season. Obviously, Blackburn didn't have a great time in real life, just narrowly scraping at relegation. I think we'll do much better than that, but I do not want to get promoted, so just outside the playoffs would be absolutely fantastic. We couldn't really ask for a better season than that, to be honest. Finishing in 6th place and getting into the playoffs, but not now in the semi-finals, is pretty much exactly what we want, because it means our players perform very well and we can sell them for a fair bit of money if we need to. And also, Ipswich winning the league on 107, Norwich getting promoted in 2nd, and Leicester going up in 3rd means it's actually quite a realistic-ish promotion, with 2 out of 3 teams going up. Going down, Preston, Millwall and QPR, the Super Hoops, are down. Forest, Everton and Luton are relegated, so completely, well, 2 of the 3 are different from there, so it makes our season even more difficult next year, as Everton are going to be in the bloody Championship with the likes of Pickford in goal, who's quite simply at the moment in the Euros not doing a lot because England are rubbish. And I mean, I'm recording this on the 22nd. We could be out by now, who knows? But yeah, things went quite well this season. A very simple season, lots of wins, lots of draws, a pretty decent run of form. We had a great run of form at the end of December going into January, and by the end of the season we ended up losing to Southampton 2-1 in the playoffs. But as mentioned at the start, that's quite ideal, because I do not want to be doing a massive, getting up to the Premier League in season 1, because this Blackburn team is not good enough, and it's not what happened in real life as well. Now, Super Sammy Smodics this season was outrageously good. 43 games, 22 goals and 11 assists. He is worth 23 to 26 million and is wanted by the likes of Norwich and Wolves, who are now both Premier League sides. So as expected, hopefully we can sell Sammy and get some serious money into the club, because in terms of finances, it's okay with 18 million after this season, but it's not the greatest. 182 million pounds in net debt, so a lot to try and clear off there. In terms of our transfer budget, it's 1 million pounds, and the transfer revenue is 10%. So if we were to sell Sammy Smodics for 20 million pounds, we'd get 2 million quid. So not only is this a money we'll rebuild, we're also trying to clear the debt of Blackburn and somehow try and get this club back to being what it used to be. In terms of other star performers in this season, looking at the goals scored, obviously Sammy Wiles at the top on 22, but Tyree Stolen with 18 and 7, Joe Rankin Castillo as that midfielder, 12 and 5, and assist-wise, Ryan Hedges and Arnold Sigurdsson with 14 and 11, both doing bits as well. Very happy with this first season. It's exactly what we wanted. I didn't want to get promoted. I wanted to just keep ourselves where we are, make the players more expensive, sell them, and try and fix this club. In terms of looking at the players we're looking to buy, there is 274 players on the Moneyball list. How many we can bring in of this list, I don't know. If we're decided where their work permit is likely, there is just 34 players. So strengthening the squad is going to be incredibly difficult because they have to have a work permit, and I believe in the Championship we only have 2 ESC slots. This is going to be very hard. And well, there we go. £20 million into the bank. Super Sammy Smodics has left the club. Thank you very much for your service. I think he'll go in real life this summer as well because he ripped up the Championship. I believe he was top goal scorer at a club that nearly got relegated. Simply incredible. He will be gone, but thank you for the £20.5 million raised. We didn't really sell too many other players either, with Leopold Wolstead, Samuel Teblovic and Zach Lynch all leaving for a little bit of money. And obviously Jake Vale, Charlie Weston and Patrick Gamble all also leaving, but basically raising 22 million, but it meant an extra 2.2 million on top of our 1 million, which we managed to stretch using some installments, etc., to get to £8 million. And we spent that on 5 different signings. Number 1 being American Matthew Hope. We have signed him from Middlesbrough and he looks okay. Genuinely, after this first transfer window, I am scared of how difficult this is going to be because the ESC and work permit stuff in England, while trying to do Moneyball, is basically impossible. This guy scored 8 goals and got 2 assists in 13 games last season with Middlesbrough, which is very impressive. Overall, 10 goals in 10 starts. We signed him for £2.7 million. I don't know if he's going to be good enough. I've got absolutely no idea. He is consistent, but he doesn't like big matches. So if we're to get promoted, it can't be through the playoffs because our striker won't be able to score a goal. Signing number 2 was Johan Carlson, also signed on an ESC slot. This guy's a 23-year-old Swedish midfielder signed from Kalmar over in Sweden. He dropped a 7.06 and a 7.18 in the season before and replaces Sammy in the midfield. This guy is a bit more defensive and gives us a bit more stability, but it's going to have to be what it is. He doesn't look amazing, but honestly, it was so difficult to find players. As we saw earlier, 34 players were available with a likely chance for work permit, meeting into the Moneyball criteria. I didn't want to make it easier and make the Moneyball criteria less or make them, it doesn't really matter about average rating, etc. I wanted it to be as hard as possible. And that's what this is going to be. So comment down below how many seasons you think it's going to take, number 1, for Blackburn to get promoted from the Championship, and number 2, to win the Champions League, because this rebuild does not end until we've won the Champions League, and trust me, we are going to get there. It is going to be mental, and it's going to be a journey of a lifetime, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and keeping up to date with the video. That's Johan Carlson in. And the next one is young Swiss winger Nishan Burkhardt, signed from Europa, and but I believe he's been on loan over at SC Freiburg as well. This guy is going to absolutely break the game. 18 acceleration, 18 pace, 18 natural fitness. If you've seen the Zealand video on FM is basically broken, this guy works an absolute dream. Now, this was actually simulated a couple of weeks ago due to stuff happening in personal life and holidays, etc. I've only just come around to recording it. This guy is going to be crazy. 11 finishing, 13 determination, ridiculous speed, consistent, loves big matches, 1.6 million, scored 9 goals over in Switzerland last season. Hopefully that can double this year. We've got a brand new goalkeeper in Kasper Tobias, again allocated an ESC slot. We must have had 3 in the Championship. I don't really know how it works, to be honest. I don't know if it's randomly allocated or what it is, or who knows, but Kasper Tobias is here and he looks absolutely fantastic. We know how good this guy is. He's a little bit of a broken wonder kid. Admitted, yes, of course, as soon as I saw his name and he was on the list, I snapped him up for £1.1 million. I've never seen him this cheap, and I've also always seen him better than this. I don't know if I've got a bit of a dodgy version of Kasper, because he's only got 4-star potential. This guy's normally good enough to, pretty much win the Champions League. I don't know if that's going to be the case this time around. And the final signing is Ivan Dibango. He has been signed from Estonia, from FC Lavidia. He's got an 8 average rating, but the season before that over at Krivy over in Ukraine, a 7.24. He looks absolutely brilliant. A very attacking, good left back with great crossing, dribbling, bravery and speed, decent determination and consistency. Just 22, another ESC slot. We must have had 4, let's be honest. That's what it must have been. And looking at the squad, this is what we're going to be going into with next season. Kasper Tobias, Britton, Carter, Wharton, Dibango, Lewis Travis, Rankin Costello, Garrett, Sigurdsson, Burkhardt and Harry Leonard up front. Now this guy is a 5-star, well, he was a 5-star potential wonder kid, 12 finishing, 12 determination, decent speed. He's only 20 years of age and last season was okay in the games he played. Yeah, he's going to be our guy this season, along with Tyrese Dolan. And of course, we're getting lots of game time as well. Also, the American we signed with Hope, also we're playing lots of games. So hopefully we can have a decent season this year. In the Championship, things have got difficult. Everton are here, Leicester are still here, Leeds are still here, Forest, Luton. We predicted 9th though, so a decent finish. I think, again, there's a chance of playoffs. I'm going to bring you back with highlights, which can only mean one thing. We did make the playoffs, and we were drawn up against Nottingham Forest in the first game, and the first leg was away from home, and Joe Rankin Castillo got us off to a great start with a 1-0 lead. Ricardo then whipped it into Callum Hudson-Odoi in the Championship, who scored to make it 1-0. Cashford Tobias coming very close to saving it. Debango whipped it into the back stick, a mistake from Turner, and Tyrese Dolan made us 2-1 leaders, which meant all we had to do at home was not lose, and we're going to the playoff final. And well, that is exactly what happened. Nishan Burkhart down the left-hand side, just 20 minutes in, a little bit of magical play from this Blackburn team. Rankin Castillo finding Dolan to make it 1-0 and 3-1 on aggregate. Gibbs White still in the Championship and going out in the playoffs is ridiculous. He set it up to a Deverson to make it 1-1 and 3-2. But in the 40th minute, the last goal of the game, Burkhart found Rankin Castillo to find Carter, who fired it home, and Blackburn were going to the playoff finals. Could we get promoted to the Premier League? And we'll somehow hear it's Everton in the playoff final. And well, they're going to make mistakes. Lewis fires the ball back to Pickford, and Sigurdsson gets in and scores to make it 1-0. This Everton team is ridiculous because Jared Branthwaite is here. Zeno DeBast, Rico Lewis, Pickford. It doesn't matter. Arnold Sigurdsson scores to make it 2-0. And we beat Everton in the playoff final. And again, just looking at this team, Vitor Roque up front, Zaragoza right wing, McNeil left wing, Luca Romero in cam, Amadou Onana and Dendonka in DM, Rico Lewis, Greaves, DeBast, Branthwaite and Pickford. How on earth have we beat that side? Looking at the game, we got absolutely dominated, but we won. The counter-attacking side of Blackburn, we are up into the Premier League. When you look at the table as well, we were so close to get promoted automatically. It was Luton and Middlesbrough that have gone up. So Leeds and Leicester not even in the playoffs this time. It was Bristol City versus Everton, obviously, in the semis, and obviously us going up. Everton just 1 point away, but we deserved to be there. We had the best goal difference in the league. We're just 3 points away from automatic promotion, and a simply fantastic season. And there is a name up here which we have not seen just yet. Have a fantastic season. Arnold Sigurdsson, 19 goals and 5 assists, became an absolute standout player for us. The Icelandic man, now 34 caps at 26 years of age, has been absolutely brilliant. And we're quite lucky in the fact as well that he is not wanted by anyone. So we should have this man going into the Premier League. In terms of other stand-up performers, Jake Garrett, Tyrese Dolan, Nishan Burkhart, our American dream in Matthew Hope, wherever he may be, did not have a very good season. 5 goals in 12 starts and 21 off the bench. So that's money wasted, and an ESC slot wasted as well. So hopefully trying to sell him at some point. Joe Rankin Castillo, absolutely brilliant. The value in the squad is astronomical, but finances still aren't looking very good. We have now got 25% of revenue and £38 million in transfer budget, which is great, but I am still going to try and stick to the Moneyball approach of by the end of this rebuild, I want to have more sale money than purchase money. That is the worst way of describing that ever. More transfers out than transfers in financially. Obviously, we'll work it out at the end. I'm going to try my hardest to keep it that way. Obviously, being in the Premier League, teams want ridiculous amounts of money on Football Manager. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to try and do it as Moneyball as physically possible, but we've now got to try and build a team to stay up in the Premier League. And it actually ended up being a very big season of sales with £34.5 million raised, 18 of it on Dominic Yam. How on earth have we got that money there? Harry Pickering going to Al Nassr for 11.5, and Arnold Sigurdsson, after last season's heroics, has gone for £4.7 million. He just wanted to leave. Offers come in from big clubs like ONE FC Cologne. We couldn't keep him in the club. £39,000 a week. We can't be paying that for him. But we did bring in a few players, and we only spent £9 million. Number 1, new right back coming in, Valigar Fredriksson, another Icelandic player. Did not need an ESL slot, which is a massive, massive W. He's worth £10 million, signed for 3.2, 7.56 average rating last season. Ridiculously quick, great crossing, dribbling and determination. I say ridiculously quick, he's decently quick. I know he's good, that's about as much as I know. Consistent, great determination, crossing wise is good as well for being a right back. That's all he really needs to be able to do, and defensively, absolutely solid. We've got our first free agent signing as well, signed from Excelsior over in the Netherlands, is Chuab Diriuch. This guy's worth £38 million. And again, similar to Nishan Burkhardt with the new pace meta, 17 pace, 16 acceleration, great dribbling, crossing, first touch, aggression, determination's decent as well, likes big matches. A free agent signing is really worth £43 million. That's a big win. Nathan Adeyi comes in, the Ghanaian centre-back from Hammarby over in Sweden, costing us just £2 million. Consistent, doesn't like big matches. We shouldn't have too many of them now that we're a relegation side, but hopefully he can be good enough for us. Good balance, strength, heading, marking, tackling's good as well, and determination. Looking forward to seeing what Nathan can do. And finally, a brand new striker in Francolinho Zhu. This guy's been signed from Midtjylland, and again, because of the ESC slots, we had to spend £8 million on this guy who was nowhere near the best available option, but because of the ESC slots, we had to sign someone. He's pretty decently quick. He's got good determination, decent finishing at just 12. £8 million seems absolutely ridiculous. He's not even that good at scoring goals either. But to be honest, looking at what we could have got, they just needed work permits, which made it impossible to sign anyone else, because you can look at the team now in terms of our ESC slots. We've got, I believe it's 4 or 3, Dabango, Carlson and Adelge. In terms of outgoings, I believe someone like Matthew Hope is gone, or something's happened to them. I mean, they're in development centre. I don't know where they've gone, or they've managed to get ESC slots. Whatever's happened, we've only got 3 ESC slots left, which makes it very, very difficult to bring in brand new players. And we're going to have to hope that these 3 are going to be pretty much some of our best players. English players on FM are just so expensive to go and buy. And if they can get if they don't need a work permit, it makes them even more expensive as well, because the game knows that that's what you need. Looking at the actual team, we are setting up still in a 4-3-3. We're a little bit more defensive. This is actually the Company 3 tactic that we use for the Bayern Munich rebuilds. The more defensive one is what we're going to go with here at Blackburn. Hopefully it's going to be okay. I presume this season is going to be extremely difficult to stay up. We are 600 to 1. Luton and Middlesbrough are pretty much around us as well. Let's see how this season goes. I am predicting we actually get relegated, which wouldn't be the worst thing, because we can rebuild them again. And while I don't quite know how, but by some miracle, we have stayed up. And actually, I do know how. We didn't get the magic 40 points total. We got 37. But Sheffield United, Middlesbrough and Luton were all absolutely awful. Less than 30 for all 3. We didn't even need the magic 40 to stay up, which is fantastic. 37 points. I tell you what, it was a very difficult season. Goal scoring, horrendous. Our top goal scorer was 9 goals, Burkhardt on 8, Duric on 6 as well. Other than that, no one got above 5. It was an incredibly difficult season. And obviously, when you look at the squad, it's nowhere near good enough. Players aren't enjoying playing together. This left-hand side's broken. The midfield's a little bit broken, even though it's Lewis Travers, Rankin Costello, and Garrett, who are all Blackburn players currently in real life. Dolan's decent. Dew is, as mentioned, as a striker, not the greatest, had to be signed, a 6.72 this season. Painful. If we can sell him for that money, I'll be absolutely buzzing, because simply he's just not good enough for the Premier League. And well, luckily, just the defence that we have got with Dabango, Wharton, Carter, Fredrickson and Tobias was good enough to keep the goals out. Data Hub looks absolutely grim. Just didn't score nowhere near enough goals. Conceded wise, we're actually quite good at just 1.53. We just need to try and sort out that front line, really. In terms of finances, obviously things are going up exponentially. No debt now, £102 million. But regardless of what I say to the board, they will not increase this 25% transfer revenue up to even 50%. Would be great. We have got a £77 million transfer budget, because obviously last summer we sold loads of players, £34 million worth, and didn't really bring anyone in other than 13 million. Summer before that, 21 million and only 8 signed. So we're currently doing really well in terms of the Moneyball approach and selling loads of players and buying cheaper players. But we just haven't, the board just won't increase it. They don't trust me with the money. And we're now going into season 4. And I just think it's going to be very difficult to improve this squad for cheap, because the ESC slots are taken up. I don't really know what we've got to do. So this summer we did spend a fair bit more money than actually outgoing, but I think we've got that in lieu from previous seasons. We did sell Nathan Adeji. He wasn't really very good last season, to be honest. He played just 15 games, got a 6.9. We sold him for 2.5, sold him for 7.25. He was taking up an ESC slot and wasn't playing many games. At that stage, he just had to go. Matthew Hope was an absolute failure of a signing, sold for 600,000. Oh, that was pretty much much it. Around £12 million going out, and we spent 47, so we're about equal on incoming and outgoing now over the 3 seasons. And number 1 was young midfielder Tyler Morton, signed from Liverpool. He cost us £10.5 million, but should have the potential to get us to being pretty much a Champions League, Europa League level side, which is fantastic. He's just 23 years of age. He's obviously English. He doesn't need any work permits or ESC slots, etc. He's good at passing, good technique, more of a playmaker, something we don't really have in the squad. So very excited with this signing. Signing 2 was Nathan Zeze, signed from Southampton, £6.5 million. Didn't need a work permit and comes in to replace Nathaniel Adeji. I think that's a great piece of business. Third signing is 21-year-old American wonder kid Benjamin Kremliaseshi. Now this is becoming a bit more of a wonder kid for people with the Moneyball. I completely appreciate that. Managing in England Moneyball was very difficult. I am doing it to the best of my ability. 7.14 average rating so far this season. We got that release clause at 5.75. Again, this guy is simply fantastic. I mean, if we can sell him for that right now, I would. The next signing is 25-year-old Uruguayan centre-back in Nicolas Marichal to come in and really improve that centre-back position. Consistent, live-league matches, great tackling, heading and marking, great determination, decent speed, 6'1", cost us £7 million, but has had 3 very good seasons over in Russia after signing from Nacional over in Uruguay. I think that's a great piece of business. And so is Mads Hansen. Again, a bit more expensive one, £11.5 million, but again, consistent, 18 determination. Not the quickest of players, but technically very, very good. He's known as an inside forward. He's 23 years of age. He's consistent. And across his career, he's not exactly got loads of goals or assists, but in terms of average rating, 7.25, 7.41 and 7.42. Whatever this guy's doing in the actual game must be incredible. And our final signing is Russian striker Konstantin Tuvyakin, and we did allocate this guy an ESC slot because this guy I know can score goals. 15 finishing, 16 determination, decent speed, consistent, 24 years of age. Across his career, 9 goals, 10 goals, 9 goals, 8 goals. Hopefully he can get that again in the Premier League, and then the wingers that we've got in and around him can do that as well. I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic, and it means the team now looks very different to last season. Kasper Tobias, Fredriksson, Carter, Marichal and Debango as the back 4, Rankin Costello, Kremliaseshi and Garrett in midfield, with Hansen, Diriush and Tuvyakin as the front 3. Still got a lot of young Blackburn players here as well. Piers, Britton, Zeze, Wharton, Batty, Morton, Travis, Tronstad, Dew, Burkhart and Harry Leonard, and a lot of players gone out on loan or being available for the under-21s as well. So things are going quite well. I think we've fixed the club in terms of finances. Still £30 million if I wanted to spend it, and loads of money in the bank as well. Clear the debt, which is absolutely fantastic. Club info wise, we're constantly asking to improve the youth recruitment and things like that, because that's always helpful in terms of these Moneyball rebuilds. Bringing players through the academy, selling them for money or using them is always helpful. So constantly trying to do that, and of course as well, constantly trying to get the ball to increase this 25%. One day maybe they'll give us 30 if we're lucky. Let's get in both to season 4. I think we're no longer, a proper relegation side. I'm looking at getting around that sort of 12th to 8th place would be fantastic, just outside of Europe. Well, a little bit disappointing, but only a position behind my beloved Manchester United. 47 points. 49 for United, -5 goal difference, 12 wins, 11 draws and 15 losses. You know what? Pretty good progress on last season's 37. 10 points more, a much better goal difference. And look at the data hub, we fixed our sort of goal scoring issues quite a lot, and conceded wise we are very defensively sound, which is fantastic. Now, I'm aware this rebuild was going quite quick. We're already on to like season number 5, but with these Moneyball rebuilds, I try and keep them as sort of fast paced as possible. So I hope you guys are enjoying. I just want to say a massive thank you to the legends on screen right now, the Patreon members that make this dream of being on 10,000 subscribers and making me, able to actually do this as a semi-part-time-ish job, I suppose, as well as on top of a full-time job. But being able to do this and, the support you guys are giving me, the support on Patreon's ridiculous. The subscribers, you guys are legends. If you do want to get yourself the save file for this Blackburn Moneyball rebuild at any point, let me know down in the Patreon down below. Click on the link. £5 a month. You help support me. I genuinely can't thank you enough for the support recently. It has been absolutely mental. In terms of our star performance at this season, it really was Kasper Tobias on a 6.93. Defensively, just so solid. Juvan Debango as well as our left back. We signed him a few seasons ago now from a team in Estonia for 700k. he's doing bits in the Premier League. He is now worth £29 million. He is wanted with the likes of Al Ittihad over in Saudi. And you know what? I think that's a perfect Moneyball signing. 700k from Estonia, now playing Premier League games, could get 25 million for him. Chef's kiss. Benjamin Kremniasecki value is ridiculous. He was decent this season. Felixson, Scott Wharton, Martial was our two centre-backs as well. I think we're just doing very, very well. We're sort of floating through. We've definitely improved Blackburn massively. Finances-wise, £95 million in the bank. Certainly doing bits there. That dreaded 25% is not changing. Debt-wise, nothing on the club. Superb. Let's just carry on going through because nothing's happening. We aren't winning any trophies. FA Cup and Carabao Cup every single time has been 4th round, 5th round, 3rd round. We're not really making any runs or dents there at all. So I'm just going to keep going until we get to some bits that are more interesting. And only the one sale this summer of Tari Stola leaving to Stoke for 5 million means that we are again going to be in the negative/positive of spending too much money, but it's what we've got to do at the moment to make us at least try and compete to get into Europe, to where our players then be worth money to sell them for more money. So welcome in starting number 1 and potential brand new goalkeeper to replace Kasper Tobias in Samuel Soares. He is a 25-year-old Portuguese goalkeeper who has broken through into the Benfica side on a 7.03 average rating. At this age, and never really seen him before, I thought we'd take a gamble. Why on earth not? He's consistent, he's very good aerially, great kicking, 6'3", natural reach, jumping reach and natural fitness is very good as well. And looking at sort of a ball playing keeper as we progress from being an offensive side to a more progressive side, someone like Samuel could be fantastic. Starting 2 is Kevin, not your guy down the road, your Brazilian winger, 24 years of age. This guy has got an ESC slot, but that is for a reason, because he's got 16 finishing, 19 determination and pretty decent speed, consistent, light big matches, signed from Shakhtar, another player that's come over from Brazil to Ukraine and absolutely smashed it. 7.5, 7.11. I'm excited to see what big Kevin can do. Another midfielder to add to our incredibly impressive midfield is Jovan Silvic, a Serbian midfielder who's just 21 years of age and just very, very well rounded. A value of 33 million. That's not what we paid for him, just 5.75, and last season got a 7.33 average rating. Someone that can play in multiple positions is Daniel Denisov, but he's mainly been brought in to be quite a defensive right back. He has got great determination, aggression, bravery. He gets signed quite a lot in these Moneyball rebuilds, and it's mainly because he's very, very good there. He's consistent, lighting matches, and it's an absolute bargain at 5 million. And our final one, and sort of a better, more attacking left back, is Mauro Petkovic, 24 years of age, playing for the Croatian national team, consistent, lighting matches, signed from Dynamo, someone I've actually never signed before. He can also play at centre-back, so he's quite a big lad, and also can defend as well. So depending on if we play at attacking right back or attacking left back or defensive other side, this guy can do both. Great determination, bravery, positioning, and physical stats as well. And that is our signing. So 5 players coming in, all slightly improving the team in different ways. Rank Costello moves up to right wing with Savilic, Kremniasecki, and Tyler Morton in midfield with Pelkovic, Martial, Wharton, Denisov, Soares, and Tuviaki and Diliuc on the wings as well. The team's decent. It's progressing nicely. Let's just get into season number 5. And again, just more and more progression. Season 5 now up to 54 points. So we have raised this from 36 to 47 to 54. Still a -5 goal difference. So maybe needing a brand new striker to go out there and score some more goals. Because when we look at the data hub, we're doing okay, but it can certainly be improved. As mentioned now, though, we are becoming a club which are doing much, much better. 54 points is great. We're just really 6 points, well, 8 points away from getting into Europe, and that Europa Conference League could be sort of the catalyst for us to really blow up as a squad and become one of the better teams in the league and get Blackburn back to winning a Premier League. 5 seasons in, still no trophies. 4th round of the FA Cup, quarter-finaled by Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. I'm aware this is becoming very, very fast-paced, but this season, Samuel Soares became our goalkeeper. What a guy he is as well. 52 goals conceded, but a 6.8 ball average rating. And as mentioned, as a sweeper keeper, now on attack, 17 kicking. It's beautiful. This is exactly what I want to see from a young goalkeeper who I've never seen on FM before. So if you guys have never seen Samuel Soares, go have a look at him. He's pretty damn good. Goal scoring wise, as mentioned, we are slightly struggling there, but we have had a player which has broke out this season in Chuab Dioduch. This guy obviously was a free agent signing and now played 100 games for Blackburn, and this season was a season to become a superstar. 10 goals, 9 assists in 37 games. That speed is outrageous, and he's now worth £45 million, so could be someone to look to sell on. In terms of average rating wise, he does dominate the charts. Callum Britton, when he played, was good, so same for Thomas Bloxham. Tyler Mawson has developed really well this season as well, a 6.98 average rating, seeing as that deep line playmaker in DM is absolutely brilliant. Again, a signing for £10 million, now worth £40 million. So although our sort of sales figures do look very bad in terms of Moneyball, we're about negative, let's say £20 million. We are progressing a squad now that is worth a lot of money, and we can now make some big sales if we need to raise the Moneyball to be much better. Finances wise, things are looking great. Blackburn are sorted there, so I'm going to stop showing this, but just know this isn't going to change. Still 25% of transfer revenue. I don't know what it is. The board just don't trust me with money, which is incredibly frustrating. Let's go on to season 6. Maybe that's going to be more interesting. That's not quite what I was looking to do. Tyler Morton, who is now progressing into a very good player, has left the club, but it's the sort of money that you can't really turn down. We've tripled the money on him in just 2 seasons, which is very, very good. He's off to Saudi Arabia, and when £525,000 comes calling, he's not going to reject that. We sold an extra few players as well, like Hayden Carter, Callum Britton, and finally Francilio Dew, who is one of the worst signings I've ever made in my life. £8 million, sold for 1.7. Completely shocking. Amounting to around £43 million, and we spent £40 million this summer to improve the side even more. Starting off with our first proper regen signing, and we're getting to the point where these guys are too good to not sign. Thomas Arieta, a 6'4" Argentinian striker with 16 finishing. Yeah, he's quite good. He is inconsistent. He isn't, the quickest of players, etc. But at 6'4", he looks amazing. And at Lanús in Argentina, as a 17 and 18-year-old, has scored 30 goals in 48 games. I'm looking forward to Thomas. And our second signing is more of an experienced 28-year-old Diego Lanes, signed from Tigres over in Mexico for £10.5 million. Ridiculously quick, great flair, great dribbling. Has never played in England, but has smashed it over in Portugal and in Spain at Real Espadas, and now over in Mexico in real life. This guy comes back to Europe, and hopefully for us is going to be a standout winger, as is hopefully Ian Subiare, another £10 million signing. This time, he has been signed from River Plate. He did come in on loan to Watford in the Championship a few seasons ago and was pretty decent, but went back to River, had 2 great years over there, and now comes and signs for Blackburn. 16 dribbling, 16 finishing, 16 flair, decent speed. Hopefully Ian can be a superstar. £6 million on Argentinian centre-back Valente Beriani from Estudiantes. This guy is incredibly consistent, likes big matches, just 22 years of age, great speed, good stamina, good agility, and very decent defensively as well. And for now, probably the most attacking right back we're ever going to sign is Matija Ostojic. This guy's got great agility, crossing, dribbling, defensively pretty horrendous, but going forward, this guy is brilliant and cost us just £2 million from Crvena Zvezda, where he's only just broken out in Serbia, so he might be ready for too much game time, but if he does progress, he'll be absolutely brilliant. Edvard Peterson has come in purely as a backup. He's not great, but he's consistent, and when needed, he can replace Tyler Morton as that more playmakery central midfielder. We have got a lot better players, but simply as midfielder number 6, I quite like it. He doesn't need an ESC slot, and he's decent on the ball. And finally, for 750k, is just a ridiculous one-kid goalkeeper. £750,000. Just way too good to turn down. He's now worth £40 million, literally after a week of being here. He is absolutely outrageous. I'm not sure if he starts over Suarez or if he's purely going to be here to be a backup, but he's incredibly consistent, 6'4", and a very good goalkeeper. The squad, again, looking very good. Subiari and Lanes now take up the wings, with Tuviakin staying up front, with Garrett, Kremniaseki and Silvic in midfield, with Ostojic, Wharton, Martial and Perkovic as the back four, with Suarez in goal. Team just progressing very, very well. Huzzah! We have some actual progress. We are into Europe, and it's the Europa Conference League, and you know I love the big green one. And from here, this video is going to get very, very interesting. Thank you very much for sticking around to this point. If you have done, you're an absolute legend, and you're going to get a fantastic last few seasons of this rebuild, as now we take Blackburn, winning hopefully the Conference League, Europa League, Champions League and Premier League. the squad we've built is now very, very good. I'm very, very happy. This season, breakout stars-wise, in terms of goals, Ian Sabare is brilliant. Jovan Silvic, 14 assists from midfield. Fantastic. I think he said Tory Lanes. Diego Lanes, 6 and 5. 5 and 5 for Joran Castillo, who has now played 260 games for Blackburn. What an absolute legend. I didn't even know this guy come from the United Academy. What a hero. We'll now look at him. A Blackburn Premier League midfielder. What a hero. Thomas Arrieta. I mean, I was expecting more from a 6'4" striker with 16 finishing, 4 goals in 7 games. I was thinking, you know, Ballon d'Or worthy. Scott Wharton doing bits, 15 and 20. Out of interest, how's Adam Wharton doing? I believe it's his brother. Still at Palace. Oh, Adam, it's not exactly gone swimmingly, has it? You're in the England squad for this Euro, son. You need to be doing better than that. Nicolas Martial, absolutely fantastic in terms of average rating-wise. The best player that played loads of games was Jovan Silvic. And exactly as predicted, Edward Peterson, when he played, was absolutely brilliant. Very happy with that. Vladimir Novic, the 750k goalkeeper, is the backup to Thomas Suarez, and he done well in the game he played as well. Big thumbs up from me. But as mentioned, now is where this really starts to kick on. Lots of money in the bank. Lots of money to go and spend as well. Debts-wise, absolutely nothing. Obviously, still keeping to selling players just off the Moneyball list and the players range and doing it on the spreadsheet, etc. Just trying players off this, but now we can sign, hope for some better players. And now the value in our squad is absolutely mental. Hopefully, we can sell some players for quite a lot of money as well. And with this season, I've simply had to go for it. We've only really raised 2.5 million. I've only spent 40. I could have spent a hell of a lot more. And again, they are all players that are, you know, are fitting in the Moneyball approach of selling players that aren't doing well, or are doing very well in real life and for very cheap. So number one signing is 22-year-old Portuguese centre-back from Sporting in João Fonseca. He comes in as definitely our best centre-back. Great determination, decent physicals, heading, marking and tackling. This guy's progressed very, very well. He has had a season in the Premier League or the Championship with Hull a few years ago and done very well over there as well. So hopefully Fonseca can do bits for us. Signing 2 is Luka Vranic, signed from Croatia. Again, £16 million. This guy and Jovan Silvic in midfield are about to be absolutely crazy as a partnership. He looks unbelievable. Great determination, off the ball passing, vision and natural fitness, and just 24 years of age. Great signing. Number 3 is Mexican Cam Rogelio Delgado from Pumas. I'm not going to spend too much time on him. He is a regen. He's got a cap already for Mexico. Hopefully he can be an absolute superstar. And him and Diego Lanes, they're going to be best buddies. Signing 4 is Emre Gökçe, a Turkish winger who again doesn't need any ESC slots. 17 free kick taking, great natural fitness and flair as well. And as a superstar for the bench, could be unbelievable. And finally, a Norwegian winger who I simply could not turn down is Trevi Solval. He's got 20 agility, 17 determination, and I genuinely believe could become one of the best players in the game. He has been outrageous last season at Bodo Glimt on a 7.15. He's 19. He's listed out here as a wonder kid. I think we could find someone here who looks like Messi in the match engine. Hopefully we actually get to see some highlights this season as the Conference League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup and Premier League. Hopefully we can compete in a couple of them. The team is looking great. I mean, we're now moving to a 4-2-3-1, becoming a more progressive attacking side. So Lanes, Vranic, Subiare, Tubiakin, Garrett, Silvic, Perkovic, Martial, Fonseca, Ostivic and Suarez in the team. Season 7, let's get cooking. Well, the Conference League has started very well. 6 games, 6 wins, a 19 goal difference. Round of 16, we faced up against my favourite Czech side, Sparta Prague, and beat them 7-2 on aggregate. And in the quarterfinals, after losing 4-1 in the first leg, we beat Monaco 3-0 at home at Ewood Park. 3 goals. 2 of them from Blackburn players in real life, Lewis Travis and Joe Rankin Castillo. We absolutely smashed them in this game, 4-4 in aggregate, and then one on penalties as well, which is fantastic to see. It means we're going to the semi-finals of a European competition. And well, the first leg was at home, and we were faced up against Crvena Zvezda, a team from Serbia who are very, very good. Kangwa scored in 12 minutes to make it 1-0, and we could only get a draw from leg number 1 as Sloval, the Norwegian winger, finds Vranic in the middle. 1-1 against Crvena Zvezda at home. And yes, looking at these stats, we absolutely dominated them, but couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. So we had a lot of work to do away from home. And the game started in the 47th minute because it was 0-0 up to half time until Kings Kangwa, who scored in the first game, scores again to make it 1-1. But that lit a fire up us, and we decided we were going to absolutely smash them. Solval scores his first goal for you guys to see, making it 1-1. But Branic whips it in, and Perkovic, the big Croatian left-back from side, scores to make it 2-1. Travis then drives to the line, finds Benjamin Kremniaseshi, he whips it in, and Tuviakin is there to make it 3-1. And we are going to grab a 4. For Branic whips it in, Scott Wharton at the back post. Blackburn players scoring in a European semi-final. We're an absolute genius. And in the final, we were drawn up against Sturm Graz. It was Silvic getting us underway in 8 minutes, finding Ian Sabari to make this a 1-0 lead early on. But it wasn't going to be an easy game. In fact, Sturm Graz are going to score to make it 1-1. And we don't see another goal until extra time. And it was the second half of extra time as well, where Garrett found Perkovic, back to Garrett to find Rankin Castillo, to find Dirouche to score. The free agent signing from the Netherlands scores to make it 2-1. And as Sturm Graz sent everyone forward, Perkovic with the front post header yet again made it 3-1. And Blackburn are European champions. It might only be the European Conference League, and we have just faced Sturm Graz in the final, but European champions. Listen to West Ham fans, they absolutely love it. A fantastic victory, and we needed it as well, because in the Premier League, obviously playing a lot more games this season, we dropped down to 10th place. Still 51 points, I believe 8 less than last season with the added games. I don't think that's that bad. I'm actually very happy with the fact that we've not completely fallen off. And we are looking now at the Europa League. So a fantastic competition to be in if we can win that. And if we can win the Champions League as well at the end of this rebuild, it'll be the first time we've ever won Conference League, Europa League and Champions League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. We are useless in these. To be honest, I don't really put out a good team for these at all. I tend to just play the rotated sides because I'm not that interested in winning them. That's not part of the rebuild at all. I'm looking to become a Champions League side before we do anything else. Now, in terms of our best players at the club, Trify Solval is just an absolute joke. 32 games this season, and he's now 20 years of age. I've never seen a player look this good at this sort of age. 5 caps for Norway now, £83 million value. He's just absolutely fantastic to watch in the match engine as well. So great to see that he's progressing well. In terms of average rating wise, Vladimir Novic when playing is fantastic. Same for the Mexican Rogelio Delgado. Mauro Perkovic, we saw him score 2 goals in just a semi-final and a final. He scored 5 all season, was great. Tuviakin had a breakout year this year, 22 goals and 9 assists. Vabranic 10 and 9, 5-11 for Benjamin Kremniaseshi as well. And again, in terms of value, it's skyrocketing up because we're buying younger Moneyball players. It means that we get this sort of higher value in terms of everyone there. I know some people will say these are just wonder kid rebuilds. I don't do Moneyball properly, etc. This is the way I enjoy doing Moneyball, and if you don't like it, you cannot watch. I genuinely love doing it this way, finding players in the Moneyball wonder kids list and finding players through that, and it is great fun. And honestly, it works very well. And as I say, always with the match end, always with always with Moneyball rebuilds. Signing players that just do well in the match engine is genuinely a broken mechanic in the game, and it's good to see as well because signing a player from Norway that's smashing it should be able to come to the Premier League and potentially do well. And that's exactly what a wonder kid like Solwell can bring us as well. Finances wise, things are great. Let's get on in to season number 8 in the Europa League. Can we do well in the Premier League though as well? And we've had more big old sales. Number 1, Mauro Perkovic, also going to Al Ali to go and join Tyler Mawson. £47 million. He's been good, but crikey, that's a lot of money for a left back. Saudi money is a joke in this game. He's a great player, but yeah, I'll take the money 100%. Valente Periani leaves the club after just 2 seasons, 15.75 million. He played, 15 games? Tripled our money. Absolutely love it. These are my favourite sort of sales. We're doing a Moneyball rebuild when you bring someone in that is okay, but you've just tripled your money from literally bringing them to England. It is superb. And a few other players leaving as well. A few failed signings like Denisov and Emre Goke. Chirweb Duriishu we are trying to sell purely because his value was so good, and he's not playing quite as many games as it looks like. Only 9 games started in the league that season, and 7 in the season before that as well. So he has got great value. He's very, very good, but we've got better wingers these days, so I'm trying to sell him, but loans are the best thing right now. Hopefully we can get rid of him soon. While on the signings, just £40 million spent, so a £30 net positive. Number 1 is young left back Daniel Liete. Again, incredibly attacking with great crossing, dribbling, determination and speed. Number 2 is Max Borcic. This guy genuinely makes Tyre Solval, who I just called one of the best wonder kids in the game, look absolutely horrendous. This guy is a joke. 17 finishing, 16 free kick taking, 17 technique, 16 flair, 17 off the ball, 16 teamwork. Physicals are a joke. 16, 19, 18, 17. And guess what? He cost us 9 million quid. 9 million pounds. And yeah, this guy is going to break the game. Him and Solval on the wings. Yeah, it's written off for the Premier League for future years. Starting 3 is new DM Maxim Mukin, who I've actually never seen turn out this well in the game before. Signed from CSKA Moscow, is absolutely brilliant. 18 aggression, 16 concentration, great defensively, decent physicals as well, extremely consistent, and cost us just 6.5 million quid. Has a few great seasons in the last 10 years, most of them above a 7, which is absolutely perfect. Sergei Volkov is the next one, a brand new right back to replace Danny Denisov, also Russian but consistent, Leipzig matches, great physicals, good defensively as well. And again, I've never really seen him turn out this good. He looks absolutely brilliant. The next one is another Mexican midfielder to come in and join Delgado and Diego Lainez. It's Christopher Sanchez. He's young, he's decent, he's more of a defensive DM, which we haven't really got in the squad. So looking forward to see what he can do. Great pace, physicals, marking, defensive tackling is good, and determination is good as well. So hopefully we can see some bits out of Christopher. Zahar Shevchenko is our next signed actually from LA Galaxy. I saw him. I was very interested in him because a Ukrainian playing over in America signed for just £3.9 million. I sort of suspected it'd be a bit of a bargain. And to be honest, I'm quite happy with the signing as well because he's decent defensively, great determination, good physicals, quite a weird player. He's 6'7" as well. He's just quite interesting and one of them which I wanted to sign for a bit of fun. And finally, a player which is probably the biggest bargain I've ever signed. £2.5 million for Adam Mainland. He's Scottish, so no work permits or anything. He's got 17 determination, great flair, great physicals, great technique, 15 dribbling, can play centre mid, right wing or cam. Signed from Arsenal after last season going down to League One and having a 7.24 average rating with 8 goals and 8 assists. I'm not saying he's going to play in the Premier League this season, but over the next year, 2, 3 years, this guy could become an absolute superstar. And that is all of our signings done and dusted. Suarez still in goal with Volkov, Fonseca, Martial and Daniel Liete. Mukin, Vabranic and Kremyaseshi with Boric and Solval on the wings with Tuviakin back up top. We have gone back to a 4-3-3 system purely because it's just a little bit more settled rather than the 4-2-3-1 I was finding when we were playing games. We're getting a little bit dominated and this midfield just works very, very well. We haven't really got an out-and-out cam, so Vabranic and Kremyaseshi as a double sort of more attacking midfield works quite well, and I'm hoping we can progress Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, one of them this season, and qualifying for the Champions League would be fantastic. Yeah, it's just not happening. We're not winning the Carabao Cup. We've got knocked out in the 3rd round by Fulham. And FA Cup, we were 4th round by Manchester City. I'm quite happy to wipe my hands and realise we're never going to win either of these trophies. But similarly to the Europa League phase, or the Conference League phase, the Europa League, we have absolutely smashed it. 8 games played, 7 wins and 1 draw. But in the round of 16, we had to sneak past Anderlecht in extra time thanks to a goal from Rogelio Delgado to win 4-3. Certainly not as easy as a competition to actually win in the knockouts. In the quarterfinals, we faced up against Celtic and beat them 8-5 in aggregate. Quite a tight scoreline in the game at Celtic Park, but at home at Ewood, we absolutely battered them. And then for the semi-finals, we played up against Borussia Dortmund. Finally, a very good side we're up against, but this Blackburn side we have created is also pretty good. Ian Sabare finds Konstantin Tuviakin, Borčić finds Kremyaseshi to find Vabranic to find Volkov, who drives forward to make it 2-0, and this is all away from home at the Signal in Duya Park. Borčić, who we'll go through in just a minute, fires a cross in, he finds Martial, Kremyaseshi screamers at home to make it 3-0. We are going to grab our fourth at some point, but first of all, Borussia Dortmund are going to score. Larson drives through. He puts it past Samuel Suarez, who is a lot better at kicking the ball than he is saving it, but he's done pretty well to this day. Kremyaseshi does try and spin it through the hairs, but eventually finds Borčić. He makes it 4-1, and the second leg was 1-1. So 5-2 in aggregate. We're going to the final. And this final is up against Manchester United, and there was just one singular goal scored by Ian Sabare to make us 1-0 leaders. And when looking at that Blackburn squad, we have someone from the very start, Scott Wharton, lifting a Europa League and the Europa Conference League. can he do the treble and also win the Champions League with Blackburn? That would be absolutely awesome. We'll have to see if that does end up happening. But very happy because next season will be our first in the Champions League. And from looking at this game, we actually deserved to be there as well. We did beat United fair and square. A much better XE, more shots, more on target, more possession. A fantastic game. And beating United is absolutely massive. Now, in terms of the Premier League, we had a much better season. 60 points. It's enough to see us automatically into 7th place, which would have been Europa League football, but thanks to winning the Europa League, we're in the Champions League, which means 6 teams in the Premier League and the Champions League, which is a hell of a lot. I'm just very, very happy. I think we've, developed this squad properly, and as I said at the start of this video, with it being a Moneyball rebuild in England, it was always going to be very, very hard, but I think we've done it the right way, spending around the similar sorts of money and doing absolute wonders and signing wonder kids that are absolutely game-breaking, like this guy, Max Borkic, 14 goals, 10 assists, and is one of my favourite players I've ever seen. He's a leading Premier League player, and he could win a Ballon d'Or here at Blackburn over the next few years. That's just how good he is. Benjamin Kremlin-Asashi, 13 and 10. Luka Vrbanjic, 11 and 14. Ranky Castillo, 9 and 1 and 14 starts. 31 is still doing bits. Sabare, 8 and 8. Savicic, 8 and 3. Tyvek Solvgoal isn't exactly scoring loads of goals or getting assists, but at just 21, it's still just an absolute joke. And it's still worth £109 million. 2 years ago, we signed him for 7. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's get into season 9 and see if this is the season we can maybe finally lift the Premier League. So this season, to everyone's unexpectancy, I actually sold more players than brought. I mean, obviously, a lot of it is going to Saudi because they play stupid money. Tuviakin for £45 million. Jovan Silvic, after 4 years here at Blackburn, has gone to Al Hilal. He's on 600k, so he's doing quite well. But again, a fantastic signing, just 6 million. 30, love it. And finally, Diego Lanes at 31 years of age after a couple of good years. Last year was loaned out to Augsburg as we've signed some ridiculous wonder kids. Sold for £12 million. For the 2 years he was here, he was great. We've kept all his value and he's now off to Saudi as well. Super job. £90 million raised, 60 spent, and 31 of it is on a ridiculous young English striker. Now, this could have been spent, we could have spent 8 million on a young Brazilian striker, but I wanted to get a little bit more sort of homegrown talent into the squad, and Marco Ravello is that man. We've signed him from Manchester City. He has 17 first touch, 16 dribbling, and great speed, great technique. Just 5'11", he is listed as a wonder kid, and I think we could have an absolute superstar and potential England number 9 in our hands. Another signing from Manchester City is Mishka Juntainen. He is a Finnish centre-back who has been out on loan pretty much everywhere at Leeds, Norgesland, and Burnley. We've spent just £10 million on him after last season in a decent year at Burnley. Good potential, good currently, great consistency, and loves big matches. 44 caps for Finland already. Mishka, I'm a big old fan of you. We've signed Serginho, who is probably one of the best young Brazilian right backs you'll see. He is 6'1", he can go forward, he can defend, he's ridiculously quick, he's consistent, and I'm a huge fan of him. And finally, another player that is real is Andre Santos, £13 million, signed from Gramao. Obviously, this guy actually starts out over at Chelsea, but he has released a few years ago, went to Brazil, has been ridiculous, has sort of revived his career because now he looks fantastic, has 20 caps for Brazil, and again cost us just £13 million for a Brazilian international midfielder. That's superb. It gives me sort of Fred vibes. This guy's got great passing, flair, vision, balance, agility, first touch. Absolutely fantastic, great consistency as well. And again, the team now just looks brilliant. He's sitting in the base of DM with Vrbanjic and Kremlin-Asashi in midfield, Borkic, Solvao and Ravello as the front three, with Volkov, Serginho, Martial, Liete and Sergio Suarez in goal. Let's see if this Blackburn team can win the league. Let's see how we can do in the Champions League. We might win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. I don't really care. I just want to win the Premier League and then next season win the Champions League. We have qualified for the Champions League through the group finally. We've not won the league still, though, have we? We're still in 4th place. 69 points, 18 goal difference. And that is due to the fact we're just not scoring enough goals. Now, our brand new signing, Mr. Ravello, wherever he might be, is very good, but the finishing has not quite grown as much as we'd like, and I do still believe he's going to be a superstar in years to come. Still scored 14 goals and got 4 assists over the course of the season, but was our top goal scorer all year. And we're looking through some of the talent of this squad, looking at the ability of Borkic and Solvo, who are scoring lots of goals. I'd expect a bit more, do you know what I mean? Like, they're doing well. Arrieta's still here as a 6'4" Argentinian and progressing decently, but scoring 10 goals, but there's not enough goals being scored. So I'm going to tweak the tactic for Season 10 and see if we can demolish everything. Did he win the Champions League? Well, the league phase was very, very different to what it has been in the Conference League and Europa League. We've come 20th, which means knockout playoff rounds, and we're up against Club Brugge. I mean, a team that I would expect to absolutely batter. Andre Santos finds Solvo at the back stick to make it 1-0, and then a bit of a mistake there from Club Brugge. So I build up from the back against one of our best pressing teams. Borčić just showing what a player he is, cutting in on that left foot and smacking it into the top corner. Mukin then finds Andre Santos. He beats his man. He makes it 3-0. This team is just so good. I am genuinely in love with this Blackburn team we've built. Blackburn fans, get yourself on this save on the Patreon. It is fantastic. Arietta there makes it 4. And then Club Brugge do score another goal, set back to Suarez and to Blascioli to make it 4-1. And the second leg was much the same. A 3-2 victory, 7-3 on aggregate. And Tommy Arietta grabbing a brace. In the round of 16, we were drawn up against Atletico Madrid. What a rise for Blackburn. So now we face them against these. And in the 89th minute, Adam Mainland scored what I thought was going to be the winner. Somehow, after 89 minutes and there not being a single goal, there was one more. Levumbo finds Quinton Timber. He makes it 1-1. And sadly, we do end up losing to Atletico Madrid on penalties. A 0-0 game. Probably a very, well, to be fair, one of the tightest you can really have. A 1-0 and then a 0-0. Ridiculously tight. Atletico Madrid do win on penalties. So no Champions League this season. No Premier League this season. A Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. And this time we were drawn up against Manchester City, and I bring you back in a final of a Carabao Cup. Garrett whips it in, and Ravello is there to make it 1-0 against his former club. But Manchester City do bounce back. Jared Braithwaite after a season in the Championship, making it 1-1. And in the 105th minute, Erling Haaland. 2-1. We lose to Manchester City. Still no Carabao Cup win. And I bring you back in the semi-final of the FA Cup, and it's because it's against Everton. How great is it to see us, both of us, from the playoffs 7 years ago now to the semi-finals in the FA Cup. Solvo driving down the left-hand side, I believe, scored the first goal. Garrett then finds Thomas Arietta to make it 2-0, and we're going to an FA Cup final. Before one of the wildest, most ridiculous FA Cup finals you'll ever see. Mudryk scores for Manchester United in 3 minutes to make it 1-0. 14 minutes in, our corner is whipped in. Moscardo finds Garnacho. It's 2-0 to Manchester United, and we're starting to think it's not going to happen. Judah Tyden finds Sergio to find Solvo to find Ravello, who puts it past Diego Costa to make it 2-1. Volkov then throws it into Ian Sabare. Volkov finds Rabranic, he finds Kremlisaishi, and Sabare's there for 2-2. At which point, Manchester United grab a red card, and from the penalty, we make it 3-2. Rabranic finds Kremlisaishi to find Junturan, to find Serginho, to find Kremlisaishi, to find Rabranic for 5-2. And, well, 4-2, sorry. At this point, the game's in the bin. They've got a red card. We're going to absolutely smash it. Neves finds Gertrudia. Moscardo, 4-3. What is going on? Neves whips it in. Moscardo, 4-all. An FA Cup final in 60 minutes. Absolutely mental. Subiare finally does send it back to Kremlisaishi, and we score to make it 5-4. And we do grab another to make it 6-4. Rabranic with a deflected free kick. Blackburn FA Cup winners. I mean, it's good to win the oldest competition in English history with a team that won the Premier League over 30 years ago. Lovely, lovely stuff. Season number 10, I think, is the year. This could be the first time ever we win the Conference League, the Europa League, and the Champions League. And I think season 10, with the stand-up performance we've got, it is more than doable. And there is just one sale this summer, and after a slow progression into being a decent player, it is Thomas Arietta, sold for £15 million to Damac. We spent £60 million to go, silly season. We do this pretty much all the time. We get into the point where we're close to winning it all. We go and spend a bit of money and make a super team. Willy Depe comes in, a German centre-back from Hoffenheim, for £16 million. Sergio Beltran, a ridiculous striker, comes in. That front three now of Solvo, Borčić, and Beltran is an absolute joke. 17 finishing, 16 first touch, 17 dribbling, ridiculous physicals. Martin Bamadi Kamoni comes in to be our brand new right back. 20 determination, either-footed, decent defensively. A big fan. Patricio Pinto coming in to bring our brand new goalkeeper, signed from River after coming on loan to Derby for a year. so weird. He's now here for 7.5 million, and again, looks absolutely fantastic. And finally, our brand new left back is Caleb Wiley, another finally brand new player, signed from Atlanta United. Looks absolutely brilliant. American, 93 caps there as well, which is crazy. Incredible consistency. It's great. The team just looks like an absolute joke. We've gone back to a 4-2-3-1. Pinto, Volkov, Serginho, Martial, Liete, Kremlia, Andre Santos, Borcic, Solvo, Vrbanic, and Ravello. I'm in love with this team. I mean, the left winger, Solvo, ridiculously good, ridiculously quick, great balance, etc. on him. Max Borcic is one of the best players in the world. 7 goals and 9 caps for Croatia. What a player. Striker of Marco Ravello or Sergio Beltran. Both are just absolutely ridiculous, and just players littered in and out of this team that are all absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. I'm a big old fan. We've still got Wharton here. We've still got Dabango here as well. Sadly, Ranky Costello has left the club. We released him after his contract finished. He is now a 1.5-star player. He played over 355 games in the league for Blackburn. What a hero. What a legend. But it's now time for season 10. We're going for it all. We're sending everything. Blackburn to become champions of the world. What a pretty ridiculous league phase from ourselves. Leaves us just a point away from Benfica, who won it, but 21 points, sitting number 4 in terms of the league phase of the Champions League. Absolutely buzzing with that. We beat teams like Bordeaux, Trabzonspor, Atletico Madrid, Inter, Bodo Glimt, Celtic, and Leipzig, who was straight into the round of 16. We start things off against Inter Milan. And I tell you what, a 1-0 loss at the San Siro meant maybe it was all heartbreak. But we have got a pretty ridiculous squad, and our brand new Argentinian striker, Sergio Beltran, got us off to a fantastic start here at Ewood Park before Inter Milan pegged us back to us being 2-1 down in the 26th minute. Luckily, 2 minutes later, Beltran drives into the box, it falls to Serginho, and he goes all the way to make it 2-2. And we are going to grab a final goal, a penalty from Adam Mainland to make it 3-1. Means we're going to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We drew Manchester City, who are a fantastic side, and I believe are going to be a Premier League contender for us. Solval finds Beltran in the box on the half whistle, and it's 1-0. Garrett then spins, again another player from the actual Blackburn team still here, finds Ian Sabare, and he pokes it past the keeper to make it 2-0. And Martial then drives through from the centre-back position, finds Solval on the left wing, he beats his man, he finds Adam Mayland in the middle, he makes it 3-0 in the first leg of a Champions League quarter-final. And in the second leg, it was a 2-2 draw, a brace from Sergio Beltran for us, a brace for Florian Wirtz for them, but overall a 5-2 victory aggregate, which means we're going into the semis. We faced up against Barcelona, and again, there is a man here who's going to score a brace called Adam Mainland, who we signed for just 2.5 million a few seasons ago, is now one of the best players in the world. Beltran loses the ball, it drops to Volkov, and Adam Mainland is there again in the box to make it 2-0. That's 2-0 in 7 minutes, by the way, and in the 83rd minute, we grab a third to take a commanding lead against Barcelona in the semi-finals of the Champions League. And despite losing 2-0 thanks to goals from 2 of the best wonder kids on the game in Evan Ferguson and Lamine Yamal, we are through to the final. We are playing against the team that we lost in the round of 16 to last season, Atletico Madrid, on penalties, and we made it a 1-0 lead thanks to an own goal from Lenny Yoro in just 5 minutes for Milkan found Volkov to find Solvo to beat his man, get into the box, and Beltran was there for 2-0 in 8 minutes. We are taking a good lead, and we are going to grab a third as well. Adam Mainland beating his man, it falls to Borcic, he scores 3-0 Blackburn. Could Atletico Madrid make a comeback? Jovanovic drives for one goal and does find James to make it 3-1. But we were going to have the last laugh. 90th minute as they send everyone forward. Wiley finds Solvo to Andre Santos to Volkov for 4-1. And Blackburn are Champions League winners in season number 10. The first time we've ever won the Conference League, Europa League and Champions League. And it's also the first time we don't win the domestic title while winning a Moneyball rebuild, because that is the rebuild over. We have won the Champions League. That is the goal of this rebuild. There is nothing about winning a domestic league. It's just in every other league, it's 100 times easier. In the Premier League, it is very difficult. In terms of the squad we have built, though, you guys who do pick this up over on Patreon, and I say you genuinely genuinely should, because this save for the summer will be great fun. You've got 3 of the best wonder kids on the game. Sergio Beltran, a young Argentinian striker. Adam Mainland, a £2.5 million signing, who is now worth 67 and is simply fantastic, who scored 22 goals and got 13 assists. Max Borkic, 16-11, basically a 5-star player. Are absolutely ridiculous. Could win the Ballon d'Or this season, is that good. Marco Ravello, a young English striker, 12-4. Ian Sabare, 10-5. Luka Bravanic, 10-6. And of course, Trivier Solval, who's a 5-star player worth 123 million. 35 games, 7 goals, 9 assists. We cost just £7 million. And we have found one of the best wonder kids. And all of the participants found, all the players in this have been found using the Moneyball searches. They're not found using, you know, ridiculous wonder kid filters. All of these have been found using the Moneyball. So even if you're not using Moneyball, use the searches, because you can find some ridiculous players. Make sure you're picking this save up over on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're not already subscribed, join the other 10,000 people that are.